In the middle of last month, the military unit where Cha Eun-woo was stationed was scheduled to conduct routine exercises in one of the mountainous regions in South Korea. This exercise is part of the conscription program to train physical endurance, survival skills in heavy terrain, and strengthen teamwork between soldiers. The course of training, according to a military source who declined to be named, the exercise began in the morning with an uphill route of several kilometers. The weather at that time was relatively sunny, but the condition of the mountain path is known to be slippery due to rain a few days earlier. The terrain is quite challenging. Many rocky paths are slippery, even for experienced soldiers, said the source. Cha Eun-woo, who has been serving in the army since the end of July 2025, took part in this exercise with his colleagues. Despite being known as an idol and a top actor, in the barracks he is treated just like any other soldier. Witnesses said Eun-woo seemed eager to follow the field commander's instructions. Chronology of incidents. The incident occurred when the group crossed a narrow path on the side of the slope. Some of the soldiers in front had already made it through the area, but when it was Eun-woo's turn, his foot allegedly slipped on a wet rock. He fell to the side and hit his knee on the rocks. There were no serious injuries visible from the outside, but he had trouble standing up. "We immediately provide first aid," said a fellow unit. Field medical servicemen were immediately called in to conduct a short examination. Initial results showed Eun-woo had minor injuries to his knee and ankle, so it was decided to evacuate him to the medical barracks. Evacuation to the barracks. The evacuation process is carried out on an emergency stretcher. Although not in critical condition, the military chose a cautious move given his status as a well-known public figure. "We can't take the slightest risk. Every soldier is a priority, especially in Eun-woo's case. The public spotlight is also very big," said a field officer. The evacuation lasted about an hour before he arrived at the military medical unit. There, a team of doctors and nurses immediately carried out a follow-up examination. The doctor made sure that there were no fractures, only inflammation from the impact and muscle fatigue. Eun-woo is then instructed to take a full rest for a few days. Initial military response. The military did not initially intend to release this information to the public. For them, incidents like this were a normal part of field training and were common to many soldiers. However, because it involved a big celebrity figure, the news quickly spread in internal circles until it finally leaked to online forums. A military analyst asked for comment stated, "In the case of ordinary soldiers, minor injuries like this are rarely reported. But when it comes to a celebrity, public attention changes dramatically. This makes the military have to be twice as careful in handling information." Reaction of other soldiers. Some teammates said Eun-woo was still trying to calm down despite the injury. He even had time to apologize for hindering the course of training. "He is very humble. And we all know it's not his fault. The terrain is difficult," said one of his colleagues. His friendly attitude despite his illness made the soldiers and medical staff provide full support. One of the nurses who took care of him even mentioned that Eun-woo always thanked him every time he received treatment, a gesture that was considered rare among young soldiers. Impact to the public. The chronology of the incident was only revealed after a photo of him with a nurse circulated on social media a few days later. The public just realized that he had had a small accident on the mountain. For many fans, this fact caused both concern and sympathy. One of the international fanbase wrote in an online statement, "We hope Cha Eun-woo stays healthy and strong. Injuries can happen to anyone. But for us, seeing him keep smiling despite being sick shows his mental strength." This incident on the mountain, which was originally just a small incident in the military routine, became the entrance point for the public's great concern for Eun-woo in his military service. And from this, the story of a viral photo with a nurse began. After being evacuated from the mountain path, Cha Eun-woo is immediately taken to a military medical unit. It was here that he underwent several days of treatment. Despite only minor injuries, the decision to place him in a medical barracks was taken so that his recovery could be closely monitored by a team of professionals. Military treatment room. Unlike civilian hospitals, military medical units have a simpler, more functional and disciplined atmosphere. There are no luxurious facilities like those that might be associated with a celebrity of Eun-woo's class. The room consists of a row of beds, standard medical equipment and staff working according to military protocol. Here all soldiers are treated equally. There is no preferential treatment, even for famous celebrities, said a senior nurse who served in the unit. However, it cannot be denied, The presence of a big idol like Cha Eun-woo in the treatment room gives a different atmosphere. Cha Eun-woo's attitude during treatment. Some witnesses said Eun-woo kept a polite and humble attitude. He never complained excessively, even always greeted the medical staff kindly. He used to say "Gomawo, thank you," every time we helped him stand up or change the bandages. One of the nurses said that in addition, Eun-woo had also refused to be given special attention. He requested that the treatment procedures be carried out as with other soldiers. He doesn't want to be treated differently just because he's a celebrity. It makes us appreciate it more, said a military doctor. Interaction with female nurses. It was in this treatment process that the figure of a female nurse who later went viral became known to the public. He is part of the medical team in charge of monitoring the condition of injured patients. His role includes helping to change bandages, performing blood pressure checks, as well as accompanying patients during light physiotherapy exercises. The moment when Eun-woo hugged the nurse is believed to have happened after one of the treatment sessions. A witness said, "It was not a romantic or excessive moment. Eun-woo just said thank you spontaneously." The short hug looks more like a patient's gratitude to his medical personnel. However, due to Eun-woo's status as a top celebrity, the simple portrait eventually sparked a much broader interpretation. How photos get scattered. It is unclear who first shared the photo. It is suspected that the picture was taken using a personal mobile phone by someone who was in the medical room, possibly a staff member or a soldier who happened to pass by. Soon as it entered the online forum, the photo immediately spread quickly. In the digital age, a portrait can be flashed from one platform to another in just minutes. It didn't take long for the photo to reach international media. The military had conducted an internal investigation into the photo leak, because in fact the use of mobile phones in military medical areas is very limited. However, the results of the investigation have not yet been made public. Reactions inside the barracks. The soldiers who were treated with Eun-woo were initially shocked to see the photo go viral. "For us, it was an ordinary moment. We often see patients thanking medical personnel in such a way," said one soldier. However, they realized that outside the barracks, the public would look at him with different glasses. Some medical staff were anxious for fear that public misunderstanding could harm the nurse. "He was just doing a professional job. We are worried that people outside think there is a special connection, when there is absolutely not," explained another nurse. Netizens' initial response after the photo spread. Netizens were divided into two camps. Some considered it a sweet and sincere moment, while others began to speculate further. Some asked if the nurse might be a fan of Eun-woo, or even have a special relationship with him. Some early comments on Korean online forums include, "I'm sure it's just a moment of thanks, don't make a scene. The nurse must be very lucky to be close to Eun-woo. If he's a fan, it's a dream come true. Please don't spread gossip, it's just an ordinary photo." Military cautious response. Knowing the photo was viral, the military immediately issued internal instructions to limit further information leaks. They also remind all staff to maintain patient privacy. "Every soldier, whoever he is, has the right to privacy protection," a military spokesman said. Nevertheless, the damage has already occurred. The photo is too large to be taken back. This situation then opened a new chapter.